What's up, everybody? This is the Growing Up Italian podcast. Today we got special guest Premium Pete helping me.
Special guest co-host.
Special guest co-host.
Let's be clear.
Premium Pete with the one and only Lil Dee. How you doing,
sir.
D?
I'm doing good, man.
You're not Lil Dee anymore, man. We were just saying it before. You know, Nems was saying he's average size D now. He's becoming a man. And I remember like yesterday seeing you doing these freestyles. Like, little kid ripping 16, 24 bars like nothing.
You know, I'll tell you, you see a kid like Lil Dee, right? I just watched a video on Starik Selektah's show, the show off on Shade 4-5. Shouts to Starik Selektah. 14 years old, 2 years ago, maybe 2.5 years ago, probably rapped for about 3-4 minutes.
Straight.
You know, when you're 14 years old, what is going through your mind up at a radio station like Shade 4-5? Rapping for a guy like Starik Selektah?
I mean, at that point, it had felt natural because me and Statik had built a relationship. I've been up there before, but the first time I was ever there, I was like 12 years old, and that was crazy because, you know, you grow up watching these Shade 45 freestyles on Sway in the Morning, on Show Off Radio. You look at a guy like Statik, not just for being on the radio, but you listen to his beats. You grow up on his stuff. I go to Edward R. Murrow High School, like Joey Badass, one of my favorite rappers.
Yeah, he went there.
His first projects and his projects with his group Pro Era and Capital Steez, all their stuff was originally produced by like Statik. So to be up there with a guy I look at as a legend in a place that I look at as like a holy grail of hip-hop, it's a crazy feeling, especially being that young and coming in there like a fan. You know?
Sure. You know, listen, you're 16 years old, right?
Yeah.
And you think about it. It's most people start at 16. It's like, you know, they're starting to get their footing if they try. But here's the crazy thing. Your pops was telling me that a lot of middle-aged men love, because you rap over a lot of old-school beats, and you crushed them. Mm-hmm. But here's my thing. What would you say for people listening who want to know like what his music is about or who he is, or may not even know who you are?
Yeah.
What is your, like, what do you rhyme about? What do you talk about? What is your, who is Lil Dee?
Well, first and foremost, I'll always be about bars. I'm about punchlines. I'm about flipping words, flipping lyrics. I grew up on the greatest lyricists of all time, and no matter what type of beat I'm rapping on, whether it's boom bap, whether it's trap, whether it's drill, I want everybody to know that music is a lot better if you're spitting dope lyrics. That's what I'm all about.
When you say the greatest lyricist of all time, who are we talking about?
Big L, Eminem, Jay-Z, Biggie, Big Pun, Nas, all these guys, man. All 90s, early 2000s, people that are universally considered legends.
So listen, you grew up in Coney Island. Your mom's Italian. Your dad's Jewish. We call those pizza bagels, like my guy.
Yep, Nico. Shouts to New York, Nico.
How has being Italian influenced you in music?
You know what? It wasn't really being Italian that influenced me in music. It was more my parents. And they didn't necessarily listen to any stereotypical type stuff. You know, my father, he used to play me hip-hop. He used to play me R&B. He used to play me soul and rock and freestyle and everything. It was less about the culture and where my family is from and more about living in Brooklyn, what my father had experienced here. But at the same time, you know, like my grandparents more, I listened to like Italian music and stuff like that. But
So being Italian and Jewish, but your father or your family diversified your listening of music, like you just said. So growing up, you didn't only listen to, say, DMX, Slick Rick, Big Daddy Kane. Yeah. You also listened to doo-wop music or rock or
freestyle. He loves the freestyle.
I love freestyle.
Well, let me ask you, being Italian and Jewish, right? Like, how has that mix been in being in hip hop? Like, meaning, how has that helped you to be so diversified as well? Because keep in mind, you're not just coming in as somebody that mindset is like a 16-year-old kid. I'm being honest. If people do the research on you, you'll see like, this kid don't really come off as 16.
Yeah. I do want to give a shout out to his dad though, because he's super active in his life. And as long as I know Lil Dee, every event he comes to, his dad's there. And you know, You gotta give flowers to the good dads out
my
there.
father is my best friend, and you know what? Growing up, I didn't have a lot of friends. I was kind of the odd one out. I had heavy ADHD, very hyperactive, so a lot of people in school kind of kept their distance from me. When I didn't have friends, my father took it upon himself to be my best friend, you know, so like those car rides everywhere, to the movies, to mini golf, to bowling, wherever we were going, you know, he would play that music and he would show me and he cultured me. And it's really, it was all him. And that's why whenever I go anywhere, you'll see me with him, because when I started to dream of being a rapper, most people would be like, oh, it's just a phase, or it's just a hobby, whatever. I told him I want to do this. He's like, I believe in you, son. And we took it from there. It's been me and him from the start. So shout out to my father.
I just got
That's the guy.
goosebumps from it.
I know.
love my father. He's
That's
my
a
best
beautiful. You
friend.
know, listen. You're telling the wrong person that. You're gonna make me fucking tear up. That's a beautiful thing. You know, look. Having your family support you is important. You know, I'll be honest with you. I say this all the time. My family still doesn't know what the fuck I do, but they support me.
Yeah.
And,
So
and
my family too.
yeah, and I'll be honest
That's right
with you.
here. They have no idea what I'm doing. The whole barbecue we just
Yeah,
did, they have no idea.
I'll be
Like,
honest.
I don't
yeah.
understand. We made the hamburgers. Why?
Yeah.
We got paid.
Yeah. Why no one buy the hamburger? You know. But anyway, what I'm saying is it is important. I'm being dead serious, and I love your mindset to appreciate having that support. You know, I'll be honest with you, especially when you think about growing up Italian podcast. Just what it's not only about Italian, but just that family is a big thing. That
family is a huge thing while being Italian. And if anything, to answer the question you were asking me before, we kind of got back talking about this guy right over there. But you know what? The support of the family was an amazing thing, because you hear a lot about, you know, people don't go anywhere because they feel they don't have support. People get depression and anxiety and feel like they're not enough because they don't have a support system. I grew up where, and I'm blessed to say I grew up where I had a support system, not only in my dad, not only in my mom, but my aunts, my grandparents, my cousins, my uncles. And family has always been a very important thing. So being Italian has definitely made that an amazing thing that I'm so blessed to have.
I mean, I should be proud of. I will say this. That will help you in your life. Anybody listening or watching to understand this, I promise you. I've been through a lot of different things in my life. I'm here today because of the support of my family. I was away with people in group homes, residential programs, drug programs I got mandated to, jail. And a lot of them who didn't have family were good people. Yeah. Just it slipped through the cracks. I'm just being honest. You know, when you have that, it's a beautiful thing for your career. And you're such a young kid. Now, listen, you're 16 years old. Yeah. I'm going to ask you a weird question. All right. What do you want to become? Like, what do you want to? You're a hustler. You're working hard at it. What would you like to What would you consider some success? Like
success would be, and you know, I've never been about the money. Although that's also because I'm a kid. You know, like I don't have to worry about paying the bills. Like I used to go do ciphers with guys that were 20, 30 years old, and they used to be like, "We gotta worry about paying bills. All Lil Dee got to worry about is his homework and writing his bars." But what I would like is to be viewed by a lot of people as one of the greatest rappers of the new generation. I would like that critical acclaim. I would like to bring back some sort of form of lyrical hip-hop into the mainstream, because you'll see J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar. Yes, they're lyrical. Drake can be lyrical. But at the end of the day, the most mainstream thing right now is a Polo G or a Lil TJ. And I'm not saying that's bad. I enjoy their music. I like what they have to bring to the table. But I feel that being successful for me would be to show people, kind of bring back what music was for me, and for a whole generation that doesn't really have a voice anymore. That would be success to me. And success to everybody is, you know, getting money, moving out of your current house, having a nice house, having luxuries. Of course I want that, but if I'm able to have a job and do this on the side, and do this not part-time, but like have this be my life as well, but show these people that lyricism is here to stay, that's being successful to me.
I can understand that. I really, He's way beyond his years, man. I see
Yeah,
some
it is
16 years
weird.
old.
Yeah, it is weird hearing a 16-year-old talk like
I
that.
hear 16-year-old kids that listen to TikTok music now, and hearing you say that,
It's
pretty
cool.
crazy.
I rock with some of that stuff. I go on TikTok, I find all kinds of dope songs, you know. And these A Boogie guys, these Pop Smoke guys.
Who do you want to work with?
I will work with anybody, you know, people from the new generation of hip hop, people from the old generation of hip hop. Obviously, I have my favorites. I want to work with my idols. I want to work with Eminem, Jay-Z, Nas. Of course, I want to work with these people, but I'm open to working with anybody really that has made a name for themselves in whatever industry, the music, like hip hop industry or R&B industry, whatever, just to show their audience, as I said before, that you could rap over whatever beat and still be lyrical and still have it be dope.
You know, when you're 16 a rapper, do you think like maybe even older people, and I know your father said the age group 25, you know, to 40, meaning like a lot of real hip hop heads, you know, like, oh, okay, this kid's fucking pretty good. Do you have like this stigma where you feel like people look at you as a kid, even though you are a kid? Yeah. It's weird because hip hop and bars are like you want to be respected, and it's like, but you're so young. It's a great thing, but it's something that you're gonna have to cut.
Yeah, that's always been a struggle. And as we were talking before, like we started recording, you know, I didn't want to be that kid. I didn't want to be the America's Got Talent kid. I didn't want to go down that road because not only do like the main industry view that as corny, but that's not who I wanted to be. I wanted to be somebody that's
just want to be nice.
Really a part of this culture, you know, and not viewed as somebody who like took it and
yeah, you want to be taken serious.
I want to be taken seriously, but another struggle being a kid and being a rapper is there are places like these clubs, places I can't go because I'm young, where people network, people make relationships. I can't do that yet. You know?
Because you're too young.
Yes.
I'll tell you what, being that, you know, you can't go into these bars and sit side by side, have a drink with somebody, you've been doing a pretty damn good job.
Hell yeah.
For being underage.
Tell your father to get you a fake ID. How you doing?
No dichiniente.
Yeah.
But you know, that's been my biggest struggle. But I do everything I can. I grind hard. I think anybody that has followed me for a while can see I grind, and I do anything that I can to make a relationship of any sort, really. And that's.
Well, I think your father has been a big influence on you.
Of course.
But I got a question for you. How hard is it? Because only you know to be your age. Do you feel like you're missing out on some of your childhood? Now, don't get me wrong, you're living your life. And you're living,
sure.
no, but what I mean is, you're not, and I mean this respectfully, but you're not the average 16-year-old.
You know, it has been hard. I've had a lot of hard times. I've had a lot of hard days. You know, but as a kid, as I said before, you know, I didn't have a lot of friends. I wasn't good at playing sports. I didn't have a traditional childhood to begin with, being that for a long time. As I said before, my father was my number one guy. That was my best friend. You know, as I got into high school, I had already hit high school with 20,000 followers on Instagram, having been on the radio, having been posted by Michael Rappaport, and doing all kinds of things that a lot of people have never done. And on one hand, it's cool because it gave me a way to make friends. But at the same time, it's hard because you'll become friends with somebody because they admire you for being a rapper, this, that, the other thing, and then you become close, and they stop seeing me as Lil Dee, and they start seeing me as Danny, and when they start seeing me as Danny and realizing we come from the same place, the same family upbringing, the same school system, and I'm going to become this, and they are here, jealousy begins to come into play, and that's been the main reason for me losing friends on top of friends on top of friends.
Yeah, jealous.
Bro, I don't ever want to be a kid again.
Yeah. You know what, Pete? I could tell you one thing, though. If I had the blue check in high school, I would destroy. You know, that blue check in high school. How many kids your age go, how did you get the blue check? I mean,
I'm sure even about just, and again, it goes back to what I was saying. I don't know if I said this on air or off air.
Yeah.
But you could become popular.
Yeah.
And you could become famous in this day and age without even making any money. So it's hard for a lot of people to cut teeth and figure it out, and people go viral. But it's crazy because it seems like you have a mission.
Yeah.
You have, this is not a fad. This is not playing around. I think that you're taking the time to do that. I'll tell you, I will say, I know this is like an episode, but as a special guest host, I'm just going to give you some quick advice. And I will say that even when people don't believe in you, you need to believe in yourself.
Of course.
Because hear me out. People believe in people who believe in themselves. So you have to come off confident, and you have to continue to do your homework, because people are gonna, especially in hip hop, it's a certain genre. You're gonna get checked on if you know this. You're gonna historically, when you try to say you know this. So meaning, it's important that you continue to perfect your craft.
For sure.
Right? Continue to let more people know about you. Now, if people don't know about you, it's okay.
Yeah.
But how do they learn about you?
For sure.
And I think things like this, growing up on Growing Up Italians podcast and really just telling your story and letting people know, I'll be honest with you, it's inspiring to me to hear how much you love your father. Again, I keep on saying, as a parent, you're not the regular 16-year-old kid. And it's funny because it's like, drop some bars off and then you just go live your life, right?
Yeah.
But what makes a kid like you, 16 years old, what do you do for fun?
I hang out with my friends.
He loves mob movies.
Yeah. I hang out with my friends. I hang out with my girlfriend.
Yeah.
Hey.
Girlfriend at 16,
right.
That's got to be tough.
It's not tough. I love her very much.
That's very good.
And you know what? A lot of these girls where I'm at right now would see a blue check and however many
exactly.
followers
Think
I have
more.
and just be like on me for that. But I can tell that if I wasn't Lil Dee tomorrow, my girlfriend would still be with me and supporting me and be right by my side.
What's her name?
Annalise.
Annalisa. Salute. Okay.
I want to kind of get his whole story, how this whole started. Like, what made you start rapping? Like, do you?
No, what age did you start rapping?
Yeah,
And was
like
Lil
officially?
D? Yeah.
Because the cipher, I know he was 12 years old, right? The cipher you did.
Yeah.
And was
was
Lil
it?
D the first name?
Lil D was the first name, and it's because, you know what? Like, people make jokes and shit. Like, I don't blame them. I was probably doing the same shit. But you know what? My dad's name starts with D. His name's Darren. My name starts with D. My name is Daniel. So when I would go around my family, Big D, Lil D. It's like anywhere, like big pussy, little pussy. You know what I'm saying? But that's how it was. So originally, when I wanted to start rapping, I was like, oh, Lil D. That's my name.
So did you go to your pops and say, well, obviously your pops loves hip hop and he loves classic hip hop. He loves old school hip hop. That's a genre and that's an age group he grew up in. When did you go to him and just tell him, like, yo, I want to become a rapper?
Here's what I did. Look, I love the culture so much, and when you love something so much and you're not a part of it, of course you're going to want to be a part of it in some way. I feel like everybody can relate to that in some sense. So, I was listening one day, and I took one of the notebooks I had from school, and it's crazy. Rest in peace, DMX. The first beat I ever wrote a rap to was Party Up by DMX, and I wrote a rap, and I was kind of like, not biting, but like I was taking some stuff from Eminem, like everybody in the 313, put your motherfucking hands up and follow me. I did that, but I was like, everybody in the 718, put your hands in the air because you know I'm great. And I did a verse. I know the whole verse by heart, still my first rap. Air Jordans every day, I be wearing high tops, punch you in the eye. People call you Cyclops, riding on my Segway, Paul Blart, Mall Cop. And I wrote it down all on this one sheet of paper, and I came out to the living room, and my dad was sitting there, and my mom was sitting there, and I was like, Dad, I just wrote a rap, and I showed it to him, and he was like, oh, that's dope, we should go record it. I had a YouTube channel just for shits and giggles, like every fifth grade kid had at my age, in my time where I grew up. So I just put a video on YouTube, and then I wrote another one, and I wrote another one, I wrote another one. I met Nems. I was going to buy a hat.
Shouts to Nems.
Shouts to Nems.
We just did the gorilla barbecue today.
I went to buy a hat from Nems, and my dad was like, yo, kick some rap for Nems. So I did whatever rap I had, and he actually made everybody stop their cars on Mermaid Avenue to listen to what I'm doing. He put me on my first show. He had me come rap wherever he rapped. And if I didn't run into Starik Selektah in the street coming out of Cinematic Music Group studio years ago, Nems would have gotten me on the radio for my first time. So shout out to Nems. But that's how it really started for me. And then we got involved with this thing called Cypher Circuit on Instagram. And it doesn't really exist anymore. The people running it stopped running it, kind of ran its course. But Cypher Circuit was this platform on Instagram where people that loved hip hop, they would post a beat from one of their producers or just an old school hip hop beat, and it would be the beat of the week. And every week people would post raps, and the top 10 raps would be mentioned on their SoundCloud podcast, and people would come up and spit freestyles, much like they do at Show Off, but it was real underground. Not many people knew about it. And then they would come and do a cypher in Philadelphia, like year after year, and I got in on the back half, the last 2 ciphers, and that's where I really got the rap every week thing. Because when it finished, I was like, okay, just because it finished doesn't mean I'm not going to put out a rap every week. And I put out a rap every week, and by my 3rd week of doing it on my own, Rappaport posted me, and right then and there, like, exploded.
Do you like enjoy just getting off what's on top of your head as far as rhymes?
Hell yeah.
Like what's on your mind if you had to say something right now? What was some what? Tell the people what's on your mind right now.
Yo, the craziest thing is like well, mostly in school, like they would be teaching something like the Black Death or like the Black Plague. Like I would write stuff like that down and go home and write stuff about it. Like
history
$10
stuff.
bills over there, water bottle, Post-it notes, sunglasses, wooden table.
You write all the time?
Spring. Yeah, if there's something that inspires me, like one time I just saw a Poland Spring bottle and I'm like, I hold the ring. They know I'm king. I grow some rings. I'm flowing like Poland Spring. And I wrote it down. Anything you just write it down and it could become something. I have this whole folder in my notes on my phone, and it's called The Pocket. And it's just stuff, years and years and years of stuff I wrote down that I didn't use. And if I'm ever feeling uninspired or writer's block, I'll just copy and paste it into a new note, and I'll go from there. That doesn't happen often, because I don't really get writer's block often, but if I'm ever feeling uninspired, I'll take something from there, drop it in. That's how I do it.
Crazy. 16 years old, talk about writer's block. I would never think that. 16 years old.
I've only had writer's block maybe once, and it was because last summer my nono passed away tragically. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Nono.
And he was a great guy. He was the man, and he had a garden in the backyard. He used to make his own wine. He used to make his own sauce. I have so many great memories with my
I got the
nono.
pepper in the backyard.
And he was with me my whole life, so it was hard to lose him. And during COVID too, couldn't even really go see him in the hospital when he was dying. And the worst part was like the funeral. And I said it in a rap too. I did a Dear 2020 rap, and I did a Dear COVID rap, and I just basically said like
Dear COVID rap.
Yeah, like,
hold on, let me hear some of that. You have it? You still remember it?
I don't know if I still remember. I know
Dear
the
2020.
I know the Dear
Let me hear
2020.
some of
and
it.
I was like 6 feet
Come
apart
closer,
from
come
my
closer
aunts,
to it.
uncles, and cousins. I saw my grandmother and wanted to get to hugging, but I can't. I'm scared. I don't want to lose another, because I got one homie saw that he just lost his brother. I got another homie saw that he just lost his father. I got another. Nah, let me stop. No need to bother. And like that's another thing. Like I put that down into words, whatever I'm feeling. But I lost my no, and on top of that, I had a group of friends, and they all, kind of dipped on me and left me, and I was feeling real uninspired, and I was feeling like I couldn't put the pen down because I would just had so much going on. So that's when I really took whatever I had in my pocket, wrote down, put it up on Instagram.
For your fans on Instagram, I mean, I don't know if any of them know, but your mother was born in Body, right?
Yes, she was born
How
in
old was
Body.
she when she came here?
She came here around 5 years old. She came with my nono, and her 2 sisters, and they moved to Gravesend.
It's so different when you have like a parent that's born in Italy, because the traditions are so strong. Like I could just imagine like your nona having an accent. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
when you hear that accent, I just start cracking up.
Yeah.
Like when we talk to my dad, I just start.
Yeah,
instantly
it's
laughing.
hysterical, especially their mindset too. So that's good that they
Yeah.
support you.
My nonna and my nono like have the like hardcore Italian accent. And one time I sent a video at a NEMS of my nonna saying "fuck your life," and she was like "fuck your life," and it was very funny.
Why do you want me to say this for?
Yeah.
You know?
It's not
One
nice.
time I put a
It's
6ix9ine filter on her face from Snapchat, and I made her yell, "Bitch, I'm silly," and she was like, she was trying to do it for 5 minutes.
No, man. You can have fun with them. I remember one time I had and rest in peace to Grandma Premium. I had this Tax Stone on a podcast with me. Free Tax Stone. I remember they were talking with each other, and she was like, "Rats get bats and snitches get stitches." And she was 97 at the time. He was dying. So it's cool. Even when, I relate a lot to the young part of you. When you said that every one part of your family, I even remember like buying video games back in the day and only having like $30.
Yeah.
That I saved up, and that my aunt would give me $5, and
That's
my
crazy
grandmother
too.
would give me $5. My grandfather would give me $5. And to be able to put that together, and the point I'm trying to make to you is I think that you're in a spot, I hear like a lot of these kids may not understand where you're going, but stay focused.
Yeah.
And continue to, build your following, build what you want to do, man. It's exciting to hear your journey. You're a young kid, man. Now, why little? Why little, not big?
He's average now.
Average size.
He's
D.
average size. What I was gonna say was they call me Danny James.
Yeah.
Out now. Listen, man, I listened to the project. I love it. I actually heard him on a drill record, which I never thought I would hear. Is there a reason why you decided to get on some beats like that?
Here's what happened, really. I don't know. These guys shot my video like a while back, my old school video for the EP I did with Marco Polo, and the guy shooting.
Shout out to Marco Polo.
Shout out to Marco Polo.
Smoking mad Newports.
I haven't spoken to him in ages, but yeah, we did an EP together way back, like when I was going into my freshman year.
It was like last year.
Yeah. way back 3 months, 2 years ago.
No, I'm playing.
Nah. But for real, like they were like, oh, I produce beats, so I came down and produced a beat right in front of my eyes. And like that's the song that came to be, Thinking About It. And then while we were there, he just showed me another beat, and that's the song that became For the Bag. And like these are 2 trap beats, and I'm like, you know what? Like I'm being lyrical, and I'm going crazy with my cadence and my flows on these trap beats, and I have these like new age, new style type hooks where it's like I kind of wanted to create this thing called boom trap. Like, boom bap. Like, I was calling it boom trap. And it was like showing the old school fans that even though these beats might not be what you're used to listening to, it can still be dope hip hop. And showing the kids my age, which was my main goal with this, that the hooks can be your style. It can be like poppy hooks, like you even had that back in the day. You had the back in the day when I was young. I'm not a kid anymore. Like the melodies and stuff, you had that back in the day, but showing these kids you can have hooks like that and go on beats like that, which your favorite rappers rap on, and it can be lyrical, and it can be 10 times better than what you already listened to. Because one of my favorite things about rap was listening to a Jay-Z or an Eminem. Like they would have bars that make you jump out of your seat, like, wow, that's
Listen to
crazy.
it 10 times.
Yeah, like you'd re-listen, wow, that's crazy. So I can only imagine how much kids my age would love the music that they listen to if Polo G or A Boogie or Lil TJ were saying lines
Caption
that were
music,
crazy.
I call it.
Yeah,
Instagram captions.
That was my thing. And the drill record, like, I don't know. I rapped over drill beats a few times on Instagram, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to check it out. I'm going to see what I can do. And I made the record, and I was very happy with it. And I feel like no matter what type of hip hop you listen to, you could vibe with it.
And I think that's important that you say that, especially as a kid. And I think never forget that you're a kid. And what I mean by that, not in a disrespectful way, in a way of, like, sometimes when you want to take the road of like real hip hop, it's almost like when you think about like the true crime genre, when it's like people want to just be real stories, no fabricated stories, no nothing. Yeah. I would just say, listen, enjoy yourself. Take this time, this journey to perfect your craft, continue to do what you're doing, build your audience. Obviously, people fuck with you.
Yeah.
And continue to believe in yourself, even when people don't believe in you.
I'll tell you
it's a cold world out here.
It is. And you know what? Even though I'm so young, trust me when I say I've experienced it. My entire time in middle school, the 3 years I was in middle school, I had my one friend, Lavelle. I had my boy Devontae too, but like Lavelle was my brother. Like that's my brother. He used to look out for me. And Lavelle was my guy in middle school when literally the entire school was disrespecting me, didn't want me to amount to anything, telling me you'll never make it, you'll never do it, your shit sucks, you're terrible, this, that, the other thing. No matter what crowd you roll with, the cool crowd, the nerd crowd, this crowd, that crowd, it was a universal thing to hate on me. And I took that as inspiration. Like I would sit with my friend Lavelle at lunch, and he would sit there and he would pull up beats on his phone. I would write stuff on the spot while the whole world was laughing at me. I was honing my craft. And it's crazy because, as I said, Michael Rappaport posted me, and I went from like 7,000 followers to like 23,000 followers in like less than 24 hours. When he posted me, I was at lunch in school, and it was a week away.
Did you get a heads up that you were getting that?
No, it was a week away from graduation from a school full of kids who had disrespected me every single day. And I just go on my Instagram, the whole math class, on my phone. I'm like, what the hell is going on? I'm not trying to pull it out. I'm not trying to get in trouble. I go to lunch, I pull out my phone, Rappaport posted me, and then Lord Finesse posted me, and then Vinny Paz posted me.
Shouts to Lord Finesse.
And they all posted me. You got Fat Joe commenting. You got Immortal Technique following me. You got... It was going crazy, and I look in my DM, and Rappaport's like, your shit was dope today. I posted it. Like, I got on top of the table. Teachers were trying to get me down, and everybody was trying to, like try and support me. I was like, get the fuck out of here. And then this one kid came up to me, and he was like, oh, Daniel thinks he's the shit. Nah, I told him, nah, bro. I've been the shit.
There you go.
I said, never talk to me again. I said, I'm graduating. I'm blocking you off my account. Don't ever speak to me.
Well, I want to say this one last thing. I don't know what else Sabino has to say, but I want to say this last thing to you. You know, I love your honesty. I love how honest you are, okay? And I do want to say this, and I'm telling you, this is facts. Don't let people take you off your fucking game, because the same people, once you become something in their eyes, are going to be all over you.
Of course, I've seen it. I've seen it. It happens right now.
So what I'm
happens
saying
to
is,
everybody.
take it with a grain of salt. I know you're young, but take it with a grain of salt and continue to perfect your craft.
Always.
Ladies and gentlemen, Lil Dee, okay? From Coney Island. Now he's resting around. Okay, where you from now?
Coney Island.
He's still living in Coney Island?
Yeah.
He's supposed to get the fuck out. What's the matter with you, Dad? All right, no problem. Anyway, listen. That, for me, I'll be honest with you, like I was telling, I like your cadence. I love how you don't sound like you're heavy breathing when you're rapping. Yeah. Even when you're freestyling. So that's an important thing. And like I said, I just want to wish you the best. You know, to continue to, you know, I can't imagine 16 years old. I'm being honest with you. So I want to wish you the best. But like I said, continue to put your foot on the fucking gas.
Of course.
Sorry if I'm cursing, but just being real.
Listen, I want to sit down with Lil Dee just to document this. I've been a big fan of yours. I'm excited to see what's next for you. You're only 16 years old. Yes, plenty of more stuff on the way.
Yeah, okay.
So the last thing I wanted to ask, really, just to have some fun, was you're a big mob movie fan. What's your top 5 mob movies?
That's hard. All right, first off, before we start this, do we consider Scarface a mob movie?
What do you think, Pete?
You know, it's a good question, but
Not Italian
that
mob,
would have to be
I'm not going to say it's not Italian, but I will
It
say
don't got to be Italian
it's a
mob.
mob movie.
State of Grace, State of Grace, a
Let's
mob
say
movie,
Paid
and
in
that's
Full.
Irish mob,
You
The
could say Paid
Departed.
in Full. You could say New Jack City. But if you're talking about certain mob, so yes, I would say it's diversified.
So then that's number 1. I love Scarface, and my next album is going to be called Coney Montana, and I already have a song called Coney Montana, and that's my favorite movie probably ever. So that's number 1. Number 2, Bronx Tale probably, because you know what, you get every side of like cinema. You get the gangster
lessons.
stuff, and you get the lessons, and you just like a very heartfelt movie, and you fall in love with the characters. So that would have to be 2. I mean, 3, everybody's gonna say Godfather 2. You know, like those classic movies. Goodfellas, dope movie. Love Goodfellas. There's so many to choose from, man.
You're 16 years old. When the fuck did you start watching these movies?
You know what? I waited till I was older because my father was trying.
Dad?
Yeah.
love you.
My father had me watch these movies when I was younger, but I didn't understand them. So recently, like COVID, I'm
every night a
rewatching
movie.
them every night a movie.
Bro, parents didn't give a fuck. After COVID, that's it. It's Goodfellas tonight. You know,
No, for real. But
people
you know
thought they
what?
were dying.
What about Sopranos? Did you watch Sopranos?
Sopranos is the greatest show of all time, and I love Sopranos. And my favorite scene from Sopranos is probably when they got Mikey on the floor in the woods. He's like, "Please don't shoot, please don't shoot." He goes, and then Christopher goes, "You shot my friend Brendan Falone in the bathtub. No chance to run." He goes, "No, it wasn't me. It was Junior. It was Junior." "Yeah, sure, Junior, Mr. Magoo." And Paulie has the poison ivy on his hands, like, "Poison ivy everywhere. I can feel it itching already." And they start killing. Yeah, that's one of the.
That is classic. That is
That
classic.
one when Paulie.
So what's your favorite Sopranos episode?
My favorite Sopranos episode.
Well, probably the Pine Barrens.
Oh,
Everybody says that.
yeah,
though. Everybody says
that's exactly what I was about to say.
I want like an underground one. Like
underground one. There's so many to choose choose from, man.
I'll tell you, one of my favorites is when Tony goes to college with Meadow.
Oh,
He goes, like,
yeah.
Rhode Island.
Good morning, Rat. No, you know what? It's going to be crazy for people to hear, but you know what? The episode that touched me the most was when Coney was Coney Island. When Tony was in the coma after getting shot by Junior in the 6th season, and he was having that dream when he came to the family reunion, and you got Tony B standing right there trying to take his luggage, and you see his mother standing, and it's like he's about to go to heaven or hell or whatever that was, you know, like he's about to reach the other side. I think that was a really dope take on what happens after. And I also sat there and I was very quiet the rest of the day after I watched it. Yeah, and I thought about, like, can only imagine if that's what it's really like, what my nono's doing right now. He's probably up there with a guitar on a horse in a backyard with the gardens, making tomato sauce with his brothers that he loved and his father and
spaghetti
his mother
bolognese
that he hasn't seen in a long time, you know, and that's probably one of my favorite episodes too. But mob movies, you know, I love State of Grace, Pope of Greenwich Village, all kinds of these. Charlie, they took my thumb. Love these movies.
This kid's too young to know all these movies. It's actually
He's a
impressive.
16-year-old in a 40-year-old man's body.
It's impressive. So the new project,
40-year-old man and a 16-year-old.
Yeah, other way.
that too. So a new project is out right now.
They call me Danny James out everywhere. Check it out.
And the next project is coming out.
I only have a few songs for it, but calling it Coney Montana. Unless we take a quick detour, since I did this whole trap EP with drill songs and love songs and stuff, I'm probably just gonna make sure that my core hip hop fans that don't even mess with none of that know I'm still with them. Probably make a boom bap EP, call it Lil Matic. That might happen in between or after, whatever. But Coney Montana 2 is coming. And go listen to They Call Me Danny James. I got a track with Terminology I just recorded that's going to drop. And
Shout-outs to
Terminology.
Gang.
about to do a song with my man The Truth from Bad Fellas. Been talking to Frank B. We're definitely going to rock on something for all the people who rocked with that. And I also have a song with Black Sheep Drez and Afro coming out on Drez's new album, produced by Jay Dilla. Mind you, Jay Dilla died when I was 2 years old. So
They had us on
crazy.
Hey, listen, just keep on, you know, knocking goals off. Keep on building the resume, so to speak, and like I said, keep on believing in yourself. Lil Dee, I mean, Sabino, you know, let's take him home, man. I mean, I think that people. Here's the thing I say. This is not my show. I'm just a special guest co-host. I say, if you don't know Lil Dee, hopefully you learned a little bit more. Okay?
For sure.
A little bit more about this kid, and he put you on his map. But if you did know him, now maybe you learned a little bit more that you didn't know.
That's how anybody who's watching this who isn't familiar with what I do, you know, also check out my Instagram, Lil Dee Raps. I post videos.
We'll put it in the bio.
Yeah, I post videos every week of me rapping. Freestyles. I do freestyles on radio shows like Show Off. When they open up Sirius XM again, I'm probably gonna go up, do a couple of those. I have a lot of stuff in the pocket. I just dropped my new project. There was a project before that. A lot of features coming out. Make sure you check it out, man. I don't think anybody out there would be disappointed, because no matter what type of hip hop you like, I feel there's something there for you if you come and listen to me. No doubt.
Love it. All right, guys, Lil Dee. Check out They Call Me Danny James. Available wherever music is available.
Facts.
That's it.
Lil Dee, the young sensation, growing up Italian. Peace out.
Peace out.